What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Gobes, and this is the next episode of Marvel Theories. Sorry it took so long for the next episode, I've been very busy. But for this episode, we are going to talk about Phase 4, and I am going to rank it myself. So, I'm not sure if you knew, but Phase 4 just ended with Black Panther 2, which I will go into depth in this video later on. So, without further ado, let's get this video on the road. So, first off, we're going to talk about movies. And there were 7 movies, I believe, in Phase 4. And before I dig into this, I want to say that Phase 4 has been getting a lot of critical reviews. And I don't blame them because Phase 4 was pretty bad, in my opinion. I mean, there were some good ones, don't get me wrong. But there was just so much the content that could have had so much better quality, and I think that's just because of the leadership behind the scenes, if that makes sense. And with decisions that have been made recently, hopefully that will change. Time will tell. Anyways, let's start off with number 7 on my list for the movies, Eternals. So personally, in my opinion, Eternals was not a great movie. The visuals amazing, but the story behind it, it was just too filled. Like I just felt like everything was being like mushed together, and the characters, I don't know, just something felt off. And the character growth was decent, but like with all the flashbacks and stuff like that, and I just felt like it was a little bit of a mess, in my opinion. Excuse me. Um, but for the post-credit scene, it's cool that they had characters. Forgive me for not remembering their names. I think one was Pip the Troll, and the second was Star Fox or something like that. I think he was the brother of Thanos. So that was pretty interesting. Not sure where they're gonna pop up next, but I'm sure that they are. I think Eternals 2 is confirmed with the same director, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm sure that's gonna be in Phase 7, maybe Phase 8, something down the road. I'm not quite sure. Number 6 on my list, you might be surprised about this, Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm sorry to say that, but that movie to me was a big letdown because I believe that the director did not take the time that was needed to really put um, great content into that movie. He didn't. I don't think he put. It was too rushed, I think, and from what I heard, they could be rumors, but I don't think Taika took enough time to go through the editing process, or I'm not sure. He was really pushing the boundaries about the what do I want to say, due date, I guess. But anyways, Gore the God Butcher was a great villain. I liked his backstory. He had a good reason for doing what he was doing. Not good in my opinion, but like the story made sense. And there were some elements in there that I did not personally agree with. I don't think that it had to be in there. Some of it was funny, but um, like Thor Ragnarok was a lot better than this movie in my opinion because I felt like it was genuinely cared about, and Thor: Love and Thunder was not. Like there were some aspects of the movie that I liked and the character growth, but I feel like Thor was like I don't know, something was missing in that movie. But Jane Foster, I know that people were like, "Why is she the new Thor?" It's like, I, people are saying that it's part of like this new woke thing or something like that. And well, she was Thor in the comics, which I'm not sure if you knew that. But I think it was kind of cool to see her character arc. Uh, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of her in the past, so I'm glad that they brought her back, and it was kind of cool to see how it was really affecting her when she was using the Thor abilities, because her cancer got a lot worse, obviously, throughout the movie. And post-credit scene, I believe, was Hercules being introduced, which I was like, wait, what? He's a character? I forgot, but um, and Thor has a daughter, um, and she's named Love, I believe. No, I'm not sure. I have to rewatch the movie, but Christian Bale did a great job as Gore, and I'm hopefully gonna see the next Thor movie if that comes out. So, anyways, down the list to number five, Black Widow. So, in my opinion, it was better than Thor: Love and Thunder, but I was a little disappointed with who Taskmaster was. I'm not saying that I have anything against who they chose it to be, but like, I was expecting it to be someone from Shield or something like that from like I don't know the video games or the comics. I'm not sure who it was in the comics, but I'm not saying that I have a problem with who they chose it to be. It was Dreykov's daughter, I believe. So I was like, okay, they can probably make this work. So um, the character development was decent, I thought. Um, and Dreykov, I don't know, it was kind of a cheesy thing, but Yelena, I think that was a really awesome time gain to like having having them introduce Yelena into the story, and that's I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but they're setting up the Thunderbolts for phase five, no, 5 or 6. Pretty sure it's 5. Um, anyways, she's gonna be part of the Thunderbolts team, and I will do a video about that down the road. So, number 4, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, this movie I have been looking forward to a lot because there could have been a lot of cameos in the movie, and I think in the rough draft that they did plan for a lot of stuff, but the full plan didn't come through fruition. Not sure if I butchered that or not, but um, it was pretty cool how they introduced Reed Richards, John Krasinski, which was amazing. I mean, he did a great job in that role, and I would love to see him continue to do that role, but that's up to Kevin Feige and Marvel in general. So hopefully we'll see that, but I'm sure that they'll have a good casting choice for whoever it is and the rest of the team. Um, I was kind of just sad to not see Superior Iron Man in there, but the rest of the team, I was like, okay, this works. But the one thing I will complain about is TV spots in general. Comment below if you agree with me on this because TV spots are annoying. They reveal too much, and when I saw them reveal Captain Carter's shield battling Wanda, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. And they and Patrick Stewart came back as Professor X, but a variant of him. So it was interesting to see that whole thing play out. But Doctor Strange, I feel like it could have been better in the aspect of his character development. Excuse me. Because I felt like they were taking too much time investing on let's see. They were just missing something from the story. I can't provide more details, like I can't think of what to say. So, Doctor Strange, that's where it ranks on my list. But the post-credit scene did end with him and some girl going into the dimension of nightmares or something, I think. But it's where Dormammu seemed to have been, so. And there's an incursion, which means that they're setting up for Secret Wars. That is going to be for another video. I'm super stoked for that. Number 3. Alright. You guys might criticize me on this. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So I have a buddy of mine who always criticizes my taste in Marvel movies because he thinks that Marvel is like a lot to me. I mean, I'm a big fanboy. Come on, I'm wearing this. But I'm not an absolute nerd. I like the movies and most of the stories, but not everything they produce. Now, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever did a great job paying tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Great actor, and it surprises me that he didn't share with more people than he did about what was going on with him with cancer, and he did a great job in that role, and he's missed a lot. Now, what they did with Shuri as Black Panther, I was intrigued that Killmonger was who she saw in the throne on the throne. I thought it was like, wait, it's not her mother because spoiler alert, she dies in the movie, which I was like, dang. So that's a whole other thing. I'm not sure why it was like that, but I thought it was interesting. The suit, I was like, okay, that's not bad. I kind of like the original Black Panther suit, that Chadwick had, but they can't do that obviously. Now Namor. So I've heard several different reviews about Namor because some say he's really good, some say that he is a MMA fighter with really tight speedos or whatever, with nose piercing or whatever that is. I'm not sure what the right term is, but anyways, I could agree with that for some things, but Namor, he has a lot to do with MCU going forward, I believe. I think he's going to be part of a team, but I'm not sure what it is. I think he's more of an anti-hero. I'm not sure how they're going to approach this, but I liked him. I think he did a good job with the role, and Wakanda Forever was a pretty solid movie, and I'm glad that they did not recast Chadwick technically, but in the post-credit scene, you see that T'Challa and Nakia had a son named T'Challa. So that's how it ended. Um, Number two on my list, Shang-Chi. Now that, in my opinion, was a good, solid comic book movie because it had when I think about Marvel movies, I look back to like the first phase or maybe the second, maybe not the second phase, but I think of like classic comic book movies and nothing too much like that's pushing a worldly agenda like political stuff, that they're forcing in Disney movies now, but a good genuine story. And I think Shang-Chi did that for the most part. It was kind of funny with pop culture references and um, the chemistry uh, bond that most of the actors had with each other. I thought they nailed it with the casting. The director did a good job, um, and I'm excited to see where uh, Shang-Chi goes next with the second movie. I think he's going to be a big part of the Avengers team coming up, whether that's the Young Avengers or whatever is next. So I guess we'll find out. And the post-credit scene, I think that was pretty interesting because that's setting up for possibly King Dynasty. They said it sent out some kind of signal, so and it's older than the Infinity Stones, but I believe that's what they said. And I was like, huh, that's really interesting. So, last but not least, number one, Spider-Man No Way Home. Now I'm pretty sure this is a really common answer. I know, like, um, everybody loves Spider-Man. Not loves, but likes. And I think that John Watts, the director, did a great job with the movie. And with Toby and Andrew making an appearance, it wasn't for fan service specifically, but he actually made it connect to the story in a really good way. And that's what I liked about the movie. It didn't feel like um, forced, and I loved how they brought back some villains from other movies, like Toby and Andrew, with Electro and the Lizard and the Green Goblin and such. So basically the Sinister Six, almost. But pretty cool. I loved it. And what I loved about it was honestly the end because they left Peter Parker making the new red and blue original suit. I think it looks better than the first one, in my opinion. And he's also actually on his own. I mean, Aunt May died in the movie, which was really, really sad, but I think it was needed for this character's development, and it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes from here. And there's some other things I could say about Spider-Man in this video, but I would go on a rant. So if you guys want to hear more about rumors I've been hearing about or stuff that may be confirmed, just comment down below and ask anything you want. So that does it for the movies. Now the fun part, the TV shows. Alrighty, so there were 8 TV shows, which was surprising in my opinion. So number 8 comes in with WandaVision. I personally was not a fan of this show because I didn't really see the point of them making a show with Wanda and Vision. I see the point because, like, when you get to the season finale, you see that she evolves into the Scarlet Witch, basically, with Agatha talking to her and such, and uh, just a whole conversation that they had. So, also, I find that kind of dumb that they introduced a white Vision. I'm sure he's in the comics, but I was like, okay, come on. They just need to let Vision die off and be done with that character. Paul Bettany's a good actor, but Vision, I don't know. Just not a huge fan of that character. Um, it was also really confusing with a lot of episodes. I had more questions than answers. I answered some of those, but I had more questions. And with them doing a Ralph Boner, and it was just really irritating. I was like, come on, you're not gonna like. It was a joke because Evan Peter was the actor that was Quicksilver, and from the Fox universe. I was like, they actually did that, but they pranked us, and I hated Marvel for that. So, um, that's my thoughts on WandaVision. Not really impressed with that show, but they did a decent job, I think. So number 6 would be Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now this show sets up a lot of stuff in the future, I think, with the Thunderbolts because if you saw the lineup, Bucky is on that team, and obviously in the show, Sam becomes the new Captain America. It's about him earning him his way to carry the shield, and I thought the show was decent. Definitely better than WandaVision in my opinion. Uh, but I wish that they did more about character growth and stuff like that. And I was kind of surprised that Marvel pulled some certain moves in that show. I was like, dang. So, excuse me. I think that Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier was good, but it wasn't the greatest. So, actually, that's ranked number 6. Whoops. I forgot to list these correctly. Okay, so number 7 would be What If. Now, I know a lot of people have mixed opinions on this TV show because it was kind of weird in some episodes. But I personally thought it was pretty good. There were some things I was kind of on the edge about, but I was like, okay, we can do this. But I loved some episodes what they did with Ultron and zombies and stuff like that. I was like, yes, because that's stuff I wanted to see, and I never thought Marvel would do that before Disney Plus came along. So many opportunities were opened up. Um, but they are confirmed to have a season 2, which I believe comes out next year, I would think. I hope. Alrighty, number 6 was Falcon and Winter Soldier. Number 5 is. Oh my gosh, I am messing up. Okay, before I go to number 5, the worst show Disney Plus released in Phase 4. I think you guys know it. She-Hulk. That show is trash. The only good part about it, what decent part of it, was Daredevil. I thought they introduced some decent concepts in it with like the fourth wall breaking and obviously Daredevil, like I said, and some cameos, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was cool to see Abomination, the old actor, come back. Um, but I did not like the show. And the, one cool thing that I think that they did was really a fourth wall breaking was like the last episode or something where she basically talked to Kevin, the robot, and I literally thought that my TV screen had went back to the Disney Plus menu or whatever, and I was like, wait, what? That really caught me off guard. So I was impressed to see that. But otherwise, that's the worst ranking I'm gonna give. Uh, all right, so back to number five. We have Miss Marvel. This show was good in some ways because like it went to talk about uh her history with her family and one second. Alrighty. So forgive me because I had to add another clip to the video to talk more. Anyways, Miss Marvel, they did a good job with the history about her culture, and I thought there were some decent aspects that they included in there. That was pretty cool. They introduced that Kamala is a mutant. There's also the X-Men theme in the background when what's his face? Sorry, when he told Kamala that something was uh, up with her genes, basically. Um, so that was a pretty cool reference, I think. Um, Although the CGI in that could have been a little better. Um, but otherwise, I can't really think of anything else. The post-credit scene was showing that Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel basically replaced spots or swapped or something. I'm not sure. I think they confirmed what happened, but I don't remember. Had to look more into that. Um, but I thought it was pretty cool for the most part. So number four, we have Hawkeye. So this show, Haley Steinfeld. Forgive me if I butchered that name, but I'm pretty sure that's the actor that played. See, I'm having trouble now with this. My brain. I'm sorry, guys. I've been awake for quite a while, and my brain is not functioning right. Anyways, I thought the show was good. Best part about it was them bringing Wilson Fisk into Marvel, and it makes me curious how long he's been there. But once they showed that and how strong he was when he was fighting against her, I was like, dang, this guy is jacked. And the cool thing about it too is it goes according with the comics because at the end when they're fighting, Echo shoots out his eye, I believe, or both of his eyes, something like that. But basically, his vision is gone in some way, whether that's one or both eyes. That happened in the comics, and somehow he's probably going to get his vision back. Not sure completely how they're going to do that, but I think it'll be interesting. I'm glad that they got Jeremy Renner to come back for this little TV show. Not sure what's going to happen in the future for him, how many projects he's signed up for, but I'm glad that they released this show. Um, that's all I really have to say about Hawkeye. All right, top three. The Guardians special. I'm gonna say this was more of a TV presentation more than a movie. It was 49 minutes, which is all basically. Actually, no, it's not considered a movie. I think that's like 90 minutes if I'm right. Anyways, I like the Guardian special. It was a nice little treat for Christmas, and the story was pretty simple. The biggest thing to take away from that is that Mantis told Star Lord that they were brother and sister. I mean, that makes sense considering that Mantis was so close to Ego back in Guardians 2. I just didn't know she was his daughter because he shared love with so many aliens. So that didn't really surprise me there. Um, I think that was the biggest thing to take away from that show. It was cool to see Kevin Bacon. Don't know too much about him. I haven't seen many movies with him in it. Um, but I enjoyed it. I did. Number two on my list, Moon Knight. That show was really interesting because I loved how they switched back and forth between personalities. Like, just how they introduced that was so, excuse me, it was so different in a good way. And I really enjoyed it. Um, there's also one more personality I think that they haven't really introduced. I think he's a cab driver, if I'm right. But I thought it was a good story. I love that they brought Moon Knight into the MCU because he's a character I've been interested in for a while. One character among many. Um, but they didn't really reference anything from the MCU in there, so I'm kind of curious about how they're going to connect him with movies that they do or season two, whatever they do, whatever that looks like. So, last but not least, Loki. Loki was a complex show, which was what I liked about it. Not complex, but it was interesting in many ways, I think. Uh, with the fact that it had to do with not the multiverse, but time travel, basically. And I loved Owen Wilson's performance of Mobius. I thought that he did a great job with that role, and it was really interesting to see Loki and Sylvie. But the thing is, I'm kind of weirded out about them falling in love with each other because I don't know, it's weird. Um, anyways, um, loved the fact that they finally introduced Kang the Conqueror. This villain is someone I've wanted to see in the MCU for a long time. Like I said, a character among many. Um, Kang is a time traveling villain, basically. He has many variants, as you can tell. He talked about it very well in the last episode of Loki. And as we enter this new phase of Marvel, they're gonna. I think this phase is the multiverse phase, and it'll end with Secret Wars, but before that, the Kang Dynasty. So, kind of interesting to see what's gonna happen. Whether Kang is a villain with both of those films, or if he is a villain and it switches to someone else. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Doctor Doom, because in the comics, Doctor Doom was the villain of Secret Wars, and I would love to see him introduced, which I'm sure he will be soon. Um, but those are my thoughts as far as it goes with movies and TV shows. Um,
We're separated. Where are you,
Phase
Gubs?
5 is, is, okay, I
Oh,
think,
you're
gonna
up
be really
there.
good.
Okay.
It's gonna start off with Ant-Man Quantumania, which, if you've seen the
Full
trailer,
circle.
I'm pretty stoked for it personally. Um, because Kang, well, one of the variants
Oh,
is
you
gonna be
gotta
the
be
villain, but
kidding me.
MODOK is also making an appearance, and it just looks really dang good. So, anyways, if you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer.
Alright, Gobes, it's up to you, man.
Um, I'll also do my
There's
best
4
to
teams and
make
5 players, so there's one duo
a
for
video
one
in the
solo.
future. Not sure what it's going to be about yet, but I knew I wanted to get this video out to you guys. So, anyways, make sure, like I said, drop a comment down below, leave a like, maybe even subscribe. I also do a lot of streaming videos with gaming and stuff,
On
so
solo.
anyways, without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless. This is your reward for watching the whole video. Enjoy. Hopefully you don't cringe. Next tape. Okay, now your turn. You didn't even go. Yeah, that's the best I can do.